I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBM, we're taking a look at an amazing book. It is called Hope for the Forgotten, My Unlikely Journey. It is written by a terrific author. Her name is Kathryn Tschiegg. It is an inspiring real life story of purpose, perseverance, and humanitarian impact. From being labeled a slow learner in school to becoming a renowned nurse and founder of Central American Medical Outreach, Kathy's journey is a testament to faith, resilience, and the power of one person to ignite lasting change. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her on TV today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Kathy, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you, Logan, and your staff has been just remarkable in reaching out. And I want to thank all of those individuals who were involved with that. So thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Delighted to hear you've had a great experience. We're delighted to have you on the show, of course. I think being labeled a slow learner puts you in good company amongst the greatest thinkers of all time. I even think Albert Einstein, in his youth, was told that he was quote unquote slow. So the mislabels that teachers give us can impact us and hurt us, but some of us persevere regardless, and you're one of them. Tell us a little bit about that impact on you when you were labeled a slow learner.
Well, I think that it was frustrating for me. I really hated to go to school because I had a speech impediment, so that's why people started labeling me as that. So it was really hard. There was a lot of teasing and that kind of thing. But the good thing, and from every kind of bad thing, a good thing comes from that. And what came from it is I really had a heart for those who were suffering, whether it was a bird that was injured or a dog or a cat, anything that I found, I wanted to fix it. I wanted to make it better. And I think that's was the guiding moments that really made my heart reach out to those who had less than I and that were in great need, and that we could do something about. So that was a pivotal time.
That's a wonderful way to look at life, at how you can empower others. I think that's terrific. Talk to us about the title of the book, Hope for the Forgotten.
Well, actually, I don't know if you can zoom in on this. I'll give you the cover of it. I really struggled with the cover of it because graphics, and how you go back and forth with people and they design things. And I thought, well, why don't I have the cover really tell the story? So you can see in the background the sun is rising over Mount Salake. So this is early in the morning, and it's the sunrise. You can see hope for the forgotten is in a cross. So there's hope always when you look higher than yourself and up above yourself. And then there's a vulture down here in the corner. And also Mount Salaki, I climbed Mount Salaki, and that climb is in the book about that. So, that climb, the horizon, and the vulture. Now, the vulture I put in there because every morning in Peace Corps, I would go to the hospital, and in the center of the hospital was a courtyard. In the center of the courtyard was a vulture, and the vulture would sit on the cross only if there wasn't smell of death or placentas thrown out or something bad going on. So here in the book, also Honduras, as most people know, is one of the most corrupt countries, rated very highly in the corruption scale. And the vulture is always down low, ready to leap, but hope trumps the vulture. And so
Wonderful.
it was one of the things there that, and my journey's unlikely, and the vulture is always there, but hope is always there. And it's this internal struggle of always making sure that you don't allow corruption to tint you or make you negative about really what you can do if you stay focused on the hope. So that's the reason that the book design was designed like that.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's beautiful, no doubt, and it's a great message that I think people receive, if not directly, subliminally by looking at that book cover. Talk to us a little bit about your work in the Peace Corps, and when that service became the turning point for your life's mission.
Well, when I joined Peace Corps, really, I wanted to be a missionary. But when I looked at mission work, I felt that I really wasn't serving the people who were suffering, and I wanted to really serve the need of suffering. I believe that everyone needs to know the higher power and a God, however they define that. I define it as Christianity, but with that, I feel very strongly about my faith. And I wanted to become a missionary, but then I saw the toughest job you'll ever love on TV before I went to work one day as a nurse. And so I signed up for it. And when I signed up for it, I had no idea what I was getting into. I didn't know where Honduras was or anything. So to be a rural Ohio individual that had been labeled as a speech impediment, learning a second language and going through that was very difficult. And then thrown into that second language as a supervisor of 2 wards of a hospital, over 60 patients, that was tough. But I think the toughest thing was to see the unnecessary death. Things that I knew that if I were in the United States, people would not die. And so every day I dealt with death that was unnecessary, that it was due to lack of education, lack of tools, lack of resources, whatever that might be. There was a huge deficit in what you needed to care for somebody. And the first chapter really highlights that, when I came to the realization after a very, very tough day, and I was covering also pediatric ward, when I was called to the side of a baby that had went into respiratory arrest. And I tried to resuscitate her. No doctors were around. It was just a stoic Mayan mother and auxiliary nurses. And we worked for an hour trying to save her. And finally I was, had the chore of carrying the baby to the morgue. And at that moment, it was the lowest point in my life. We had carried 31 babies to the morgue that month. And so I'm sorry.
No.
So that was pivotal.
Yeah.
And so the way I handled it there was I said, I'm done. I'm done. God doesn't exist. I'm done. I'm going to come home, become a critical care nurse, the best nurse I can possibly be. I'm going to have everything in my hands that I need, and no one's going to die because of lack of. And so I dedicated my life to that, but I had reoccurring dreams. And that's what brought me back.
Amazing. Amazing. What a profound moment in your life. And heartbreaking, of course, till this day, but it did motivate you. And talk to us a little bit about the foundation of CAMO, Central American Medical Outreach.
Well, as in the United States, in hospitals, you have these packets that you pull open and you have all these supplies that you're throwing away. We have a huge amount of medical waste here. So, as I'm tearing these packets and saving lives and doing things and seeing good equipment being taken out of service and then to scrap yards for a sundry of reasons, it just was outrageous when you had a 210 bed hospital without a single heart monitor in it, or a defibrillator. So these things just didn't add up to me. So I started with the recycling of medical supplies and equipment, and then taking educational teams, training the doctors and nurses how to use that equipment. And with that, I took biomedical engineers to maintain the equipment at the same time, because maintenance in underdeveloped countries is just so not a thing that people think about.
A lot of people in this country who are blessed with such an abundance of access to medical care, to food, housing, a great climate, don't understand the need for foreign aid. Talk to us a little bit about the need for foreign aid, particularly when we're living in an era where people tend to be very myopic and focused on only what's happening around them.
The many times people equate poverty with spiritual poverty. And I want to clarify that right now. I have seen more faith-filled, God-dependent people in Honduras than what I've seen here in the United States. They're, they have great hope. And, you know, I have never, as a nurse, and I worked many years here in the United States as a nurse, never here did a patient come to me and hand me a child or hand me their loved one and say, I know that God has brought you here for me. And if you're able to save my baby, you're an angel of God. And if you not, then God will give us another angel in heaven. How many people have that perspective? And so, you know, I think that that has led me to really look at mission differently, of meeting the needs of these suffering people. You know, I can witness to them until I'm blue in the face, but that they don't need witness to. Uh, they need intervention when they have grave needs. I mean, we're taking care of a child with a tumor the size of a lemon came to us that was abandoned by the healthcare. It was a sarcoma. We're still taking care of her. She looks great. You can visit our Facebook page. We had another little girl, her eye socket had another type of cancer. We were able to do a 3D imprint and all that. We're bringing those specialties, and not through the USA. We're bringing those specialty by developing people in Honduras, neurosurgeons, you know, ophthalmology, all that started way back in 95 when that specialty didn't exist in the western part of Honduras.
And that's wonderful. If you teach a man to fish, he lives for he eats for a lifetime, right? So by you helping to train medical personnel in Honduras, it means that your good work will go on for generations.
That's correct. But there's one point in that I think that we think, okay, you teach and then you go away. You don't, because they need the fishing pool. They need the capital funding for, you know, whether that be right now, we spent $150,000 on a neural navigator that allows us to pinpoint a tumor in the brain. So without that, it doesn't matter that he knows how to do that, the neurosurgeon. If he doesn't have that, it's too costly for the government to buy that or for anybody to sponsor that. A nonprofit needs to come in and identify that need. So it's very important that you follow up with everything on that.
What's been your proudest moment in your 30-year journey with Camo?
I think the proudest moment is now, as I'm looking to retirement. We have 64 staff in Honduras, and we have a for-profit in Honduras that is creating a revenue to help us. It provides about 10% of our total revenue stream to support. And we have good leadership in the Foundation Camel and good leadership in Camel USA. So those three organizations now are running pretty smoothly through people who have been mentored throughout the years. And it allows me to talk maybe about the book or talk to other donors and that. So I think my proudest moment is right now, where I can kind of step back and say, you know, wow, these people will continue to serve and share the mission of caring for those who are suffering and less fortunate. You know, and I got to say, every day there's a proud moment, Logan. It's very hard for me to say there's one specific time. I mean, anytime I walk the street in Santa Rosa, somebody will come to me and say, you saved my daughter, my, you know, my father, my whoever it might be, or you gave me legs, or you know, gave me vision, or you know, so that through Camels, there are so many great things happening that every day when somebody like that, or the children that have had cancer and now are back in school and they're surviving, and they come and they give you a big hug. I mean, how can you not just have this overabundance of joy when in those moments?
Amazing. Amazing. It's nice to create something that will live beyond you as well. And of course, live in all of the faces and hearts and minds of those that you've helped over the decades. What do you hope readers take away after turning the last page of your book?
Well, I think that one of the very important things that people look at life in a little different way, in that you can be there's so much more joy when you're giving of yourself other than taking from society or demanding that society changes itself to fit what you believe. And I think that that is, if people could change their focus a little bit and say, what can I do to make the world better? Whether it's in my own home or in my own garden or in my own environment, what can I do to make the world better? Not changing society, not doing, just making my space better. And there's a real synergy that happens when you stay focused and you get rid of all the noise, get rid of the noise in life, and stay focused on your purpose and find that purpose. If you don't have that purpose, then find that purpose. Find a peaceful purpose. Find a purpose that will bring joy to others, not devastation and destruction. And so I think that would be a message that I hope the book brings to people. And then also, I'd just like to say right now, we're in the eve of the largest capital project that will bring sustainability to us for a long time. And it's a $2.5 million project in Honduras. So, if anybody's interested in that, please reach out. But you can make a difference, and you just need to get rid of the noise and focus on your purpose.
What's your website where people can learn more?
It's called camo.org. So it's camo.org.
Easy to find, camo.org. The name of the book we've been talking about today is Hope for the Forgotten, My Unlikely Journey. It is an unforgettable memoir of service, sacrifice, and the strength to build something meaningful from hardship. Kathryn, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you, Logan, for having me. Thank your staff, too, for being so wonderful to work with.
Thanks so much. I appreciate your insight, your wisdom, and your dedication to humanity. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.